So you're keen to apply for a global experience for credit towards your UQ degree. Great. Well, it is likely that you've come across the term progression check. Now, a progression check is a way to ensure you are progressing through your UQ program correctly. And this is a great tool to see how a global experience is going to fit into your degree. Knowing your program rules and requirements and completing a progression check yourself will help prepare you for the global experience, and this video will help step you through that process. First things first, get yourself a copy of your studies report from MySciNet. Log into MySciNet and select Enrollments. From the top left-hand side menu, select the option for Studies Report. Follow the prompts to see it in Print View. You should end up with something that looks a bit like this. This is of course an example only, as each student's studies report will be as individual as they are. Save your own studies report to your device, and we will come back to this later. Next, go to MyUQ and search for your program. We are using a Bachelor of Science as an example, but the same method applies to whatever your program is. You should be aware that rules and requirements can change depending on the year that you commence your program. You can select the appropriate year by using the drop-down box on the top right of the screen. Once you have the right year of commencement selected, scroll down to find the program rules and read through the requirements of your program. Ensure that you have a good understanding of the rules. For example, do you need to select a major? Just one or two? Is there an advanced level requirement? Do you have any electives available? What are the rules that you will have to follow to ensure that you can graduate with your particular program? Once you have a good understanding of your UQ program rules and requirements, then you can move on to the next step. Back on your program webpage, click on the Courses tab. With the full course list open, it is now time to compare your studies report with the course list and tick off the courses you have already completed. Here is an example to demonstrate. This part of the studies report shows that 4 compulsory courses have been completed. Compulsory courses may be known as core courses, the courses that you have to complete to be able to graduate with your specific degree or majors. All Bachelor of Science students are required to complete 4 units of core courses as set out in the program rules. They are the non-negotiable courses. There can also be compulsory courses within the majors, known as major compulsory courses, which you must complete to graduate with that major. These major compulsory courses will be listed under the headings such as Complete these 4 units. Next, we can see that 3 of the discipline electives from within the major have been completed. Discipline electives are courses that relate to your degree or majors, but are not on the compulsory or core list. These may also be referred to as major electives or science electives for Bachelor of Science students. When you have room for discipline electives in your program, you get to make a choice about which courses to select from a list of courses that all relate back to the main discipline or major of your program. They are usually listed under a heading such as Choose 4 to 6 units from. Finally, one course has been completed that is not actually listed in the course list for this major or program. The student was able to take this course because the program rules allow for 16 units of elective courses. This is the type of credit that allows a student to study courses outside their majors or minors, or even outside their school or faculty, according to their own personal interest. Once you have finished comparing your own studies report and your program course list, you will now have identified not only what you have already completed, but most importantly, what you still have available to study as part of your UQ program. Now, when it comes to a global experience for credit, you need to make sure that whatever you do study overseas can fit into the study you still have left to complete in your UQ program. So what have you found out? What do you have left in your degree? The best possible scenario is that you still have some general electives available in your UQ program. General electives are the best courses to use for your global experience as they give you the most flexibility. If you have room for general electives at UQ, you should be able to choose from a huge range of courses at the host university that don't need to match anything that UQ teaches. You can really explore all of those academic topics that UQ doesn't have any courses dedicated to, but you will need to keep teaching levels in mind. We strongly recommend that you save any general electives for your time overseas. If you don't have any more room for general electives in your UQ program, then hopefully you will still have some discipline electives left to complete. Discipline electives don't allow you as much flexibility as general electives, but they are still good to use for your global experience. If you want credit for a discipline elective from a global experience, then you will need to find host university courses that are in a similar field of study to your UQ discipline, major or minor. But the host university courses do not have to match any specific UQ course. They just need to fit into that discipline of study at the right level, for instance level 1, 2 or 3. This allows you to study courses that aren't available at UQ. But as long as they belong to the discipline that you are specialising in, you can get credit towards your majors or your degree as a whole. If all your general and discipline electives are gone, and you are left with all compulsory courses, then things can get a bit more tricky. If this is your situation, you will need to find courses from your host university that match the content of the UQ compulsory courses at least 80%. You basically have to find the same course taught at a different university. This can be challenging and requires a lot of information from the host university course profile to determine equivalency and can take longer to get approved. When trying to match compulsory courses, you will need to be prepared and do a lot of research into the host university courses and have a good backup plan if the courses aren't available when you arrive at the host university. Make sure you check the credit precedent database and check the host university page for any additional info specific to science. Now that you know what kind of UQ credit you have available for your exchange, you can start looking for a host university that will offer you the right kinds of courses that match in the appropriate ways. When you do start looking for a host university, please keep in mind that you might not be looking for just 4 courses to make up the full-time study load at that university. You might need to find anywhere between 2 and 10 courses per semester to fulfill their full-time study load and get credit for UQ's full-time study load. Study loads vary between host universities, depending on their full-time study load and the credit value of their individual courses. It might be 2 courses, each 50% of the full-time study load, or maybe 3 courses, typical in the UK, or 5 courses, typical in the US and Canada. It might be 6 or more courses in Europe and Asia. Very rarely will you find that you have to complete exactly 4 courses at your host university to be equivalent to your 8 units of UQ credit to be gained from your exchange. More information on the full-time study loads, how to fill in your study plan, and how to research host university options can be sought from the Internships and Global Experiences team, either on their website, via an appointment, attending an information session, watching other videos, or you can email them at iget@uq.edu.au with any questions. I can say from my personal experience that exchange has been an incredible part of my time at UQ, and I wish you the very best of luck on this amazing journey, and have a great time overseas.